Just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's worth getting, okay? So in today's video is going to be another ship with me video. These are some items that sold yesterday. I did throw a little sale out and I sold some things, and of course that was just on Poshmark. I do have 2 Mercari sales, no eBay and no Depop. So let's just jump right in. All right, so the first thing is actually this torrid spaghetti strap top. This is so pretty, and I thought I'd go ahead and pick it up because I knew since we were moving into spring and summer, it probably would do a lot well. I did list it in winter and it did sit for a little while, but with me marking down my prices, sending offers, and relisting, it finally sold for $12 on Poshmark, and I picked it up at the bins for $1.40, and I profited $8.55. Now for me, y'all, I'm gonna be completely honest, torrid is just not that girl for me. I do enjoy picking it up because it does have a cult-like following, and if you find items that do have a cult-like following, that means that you are going to get a lot of eyes to your closet, which could in turn make more sales. You get bundles and all of that fun stuff. However, I feel like torrid, if it's not like a dress, a maxi dress at that, it's going to be sitting a while. Granted, I did get lucky one time. I found this torrid, I want to say it was like a lingerie top dress, and that one sold for like $40, and I was really surprised because torrid, I never get anything above $30 for, so it was really surprising when I got that. But I just know now that I need to have lower expectations when it comes to their tops and their jeans, but as far as the dresses, I'll have better luck with. So the next one is this soft surroundings top. Got this from the bins. I thought that it was something special when I picked it up, so I was just like, ooh, I'm gonna get 40 bucks for it. So I priced it accordingly. The problem with that is, y'all, I recently watched a live video with ∠𝕬𝕝 and Nikki, if I'm not mistaken, and they talked about how they saw soft surroundings inside of Walmart. So that really kind of like burst my little bubble, and it was pretty upsetting because I do find quite a lot of soft surroundings at my bins, and that just let me know that I actually have to stop picking up any and everything because this item could easily just be sold at Walmart. So why would somebody pay up for it? So I am really picky with the piece that I pick up, and this one just so happened to do decent. I sent out offers on Poshmark because it just was too quiet for me. I briefly talked about my sales on my vlog, and I was pretty much letting you know that it's just not looking as good as it was beginning of the month, and I've been having this problem since the beginning of time. Since I actually started like paying attention to it, I told y'all in another video, I'll link that one down below as well, where I was doing a get ready with me and I was talking about my sales and A/B testing and all of that. But anyways, it's still happening. So beginning of the month, I'm doing absolutely amazing. The ending of the month, terrible. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's just normal, da 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 da. But then you get on Instagram and you see people are, you know, having amazing days, amazing weeks at the end of the month. So then that leads me to believe like, okay, maybe they are doing A/B testing it, and I'm lucky at the beginning of the month, and then these people are lucky at the end of the month. So it's just something that I definitely think about a lot. So I just have to make sure that I'm acting accordingly every single month to make sure that I can do really good at the beginning, and then if my sales slowly taper off, then I can still, you know, try to figure something out. But yeah, so this one sold for $24, and I got this for 94 cents at the bins, and I profited $16.24. So this one is actually from a brand called Brand Walker. I recently went to a thrift store. It was in a vlog video, if I'm not mistaken, but it was a pair of pants, and I was really hesitant on picking it up, mainly because this one hasn't sold. Now, I need to keep in mind that, you know, I did pick this up in the dead set of winter. So who is looking for a sleeveless tank top, linen at that, in the wintertime? So that was pretty much my fault. But I had listed this pretty high because comps on it were pretty high. And I noticed I got so much engagement on it. I feel like this brand is perfect for eBay. So if you have this brand, put it on eBay because the girls are gonna go crazy. But this one got like 5 watchers and everything. I sent out offers, you know, nobody bid. So I finally received a $28 offer and I graciously accepted it because I do think that that's still a great price point for this item. Granted, you know, most of the sold comps are between 30, 40, but I had to take into consideration that this is a tank top and not like a blouse or a dress. And that is something as a reseller we have to make sure that we focus on. We got to focus on the style of it, the size, the color. Like, it's so many more things than just the brand. When you pick up something, you have to really consider everything. So I considered that this was, you know, a magenta color. Who's really picking up magenta? Like, let's be honest. If it was like a more of a spring color, I think it probably would have done much better. But yeah, I think 28 is decent. I'm not going to be greedy here. So for the Bryn Walker top, I sold it for $28. It was through an offer they sent me. I picked it up for $1.66 at the bins, and I profited $20.74 off of it, which is that price point that I like to profit for my items. So I can't be too upset about it. It's just that, you know, when you pick up brands that kind of get a lot of attention, you really want a little bit more for it, so you're a little bit greedy, and that's what I was being, just a little bit greedy. But that's okay, it's okay. We always learn our lessons. All right, so the next piece is a dress that I actually hauled in one of my recent videos. This is from a brand that I've actually never picked up before. It's all messed up. I'll have to probably pop it on the screen for y'all, but it's called Angel Maternity. I picked this up really because it gave me Tommy Bahama vibes, not only the style, but also the fabric. So I thought I'd test it out. And once I saw that it was maternity, I'm like, oh yeah, even better. So I picked it up, and I would honestly pick this up again, only at the bins, because with this style being really pretty to begin with, I think that I could have probably waited a little bit longer and maybe got an extra $5, $10 more bucks. But this is one of those instances where I don't care to be greedy. This is not a piece that I really care about, if I'm going to be completely honest. And it's maternity, so I don't really want to try to price gouge somebody. But the comps on Mercari are pretty high, but those are items that didn't sell. So it's a difference between looking up comps and seeing what people are listing their items for, and then people are selling them for. So that is very important. And I consider that, like, everybody can list their item for, you know, 70 something bucks because it retails for 200 or whatever. This doesn't, like, don't think it does, but you can do that. But then you look at sold comps and you see that it's only selling for like 30 bucks. So you got to be realistic. But this is pretty much around that corner as far as like the new style is going to get you between 80 to 100, and the resale market is there. Don't get me wrong, it's there for this brand, but you're not going to get top dollar for it. So bins pick up for sure. If I find it again, 100% will pick it up again. This actually sold for $19. I sent out the 30% offer yesterday on Poshmark, and somebody went on and got it, and it had quite a bit of attention on Poshmark and Mercari. So if you do see this brand in the wild, I would suggest you looking into it, because it did bring a lot of attention, especially on Mercari. But this one sold on Poshmark, and I paid $1.10 for it at the bins, and I profited $12.08 after fees and cost of goods. So not the best, but you know, on a slow day, it all adds up. It all adds up. So the next one is this Free People tunic. I picked this up with the hopes of getting a real good price point for it. At the very least about $40. But we all know that Free People does not do that great. So, you know, that was my fault. And I held out for as long as I possibly could, because I'm like, this is gonna sell, this is gonna sell. I actually picked this up over the summer, which is the craziest part. And I picked this up at a regular thrift store. And I don't know. I feel like I picked it up because it was a dress, and I don't typically get to find any type of Free People dresses. And I really was excited, and I'm like, I know I'm gonna get a lot for it because I don't really get that much for the tops, but I know for a dress, I would. I didn't, y'all. I didn't. This actually sold through those offers that I sent out. So it sold for $18. Unfortunately, I got this from a thrift store, so I paid $4.46. And if you are new here, the way that I do my inventory, like pricing or whatever, is whatever I spent at that thrift store, you know, for the items collectively, that's how much I, you know, added up and divided. So instead of me just pulling the tag, and let's say the tag said it was $3, if I have other items that were purchased at $7, it'll balance out to about $5 or $6. And that is what I, you know, put in my books, is that is the collective price. Hopefully I said that right, because I feel like I kind of butchered it. But yeah, so on that binge trip, everything costs the same, if that makes any sense. So any binge trips, any thrift stores, if the price point says, I don't know, I spent $72 that trip and I have, let's say 10 items, I will, whatever I spent collectively with taxes included, I would divide it by that, and then that's how I get my, you know, cost of goods per item. So yeah, back to what I was trying to say. This one sold for $18 and I paid $4.46, and I only profited $7.92 off of this. So yeah. All right, so the next one is a brand that I would absolutely never pick up again. These are just some denim jeans. The brand is called DL1961. So I watched a 𝕃𝔸𝕃 video some months ago, and she actually talked about this brand. So I was just like, I'm intrigued. So I actually found it at the bins. It wasn't my normal bins. I went to a different location. So when I found it, I was excited because I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get some good money for it. At the time, I don't believe I checked comps. I just remember, you know, seeing this tag and 𝕃𝔸𝕃 saying it sells pretty well. So I get it, and I had it for a very long time. And it finally sold. I think this was an offer that they actually sent me, and it was $18. I paid $2.28 for this. Given that price point, that cost of goods, I already know that this must have been a slow binge day, because I only paid about $1 and like maybe 60 cents at the very most per binge trip. So if it's a slow day, the cost of goods is going to be higher because, you know, I'm not picking up quite as much. But I profited $12.12 off of this item. Honestly, if I ever find it again, I'm probably not going to pick it up. Unless it's like a larger size or a more current style, because you really have to factor those things in when you pick up anything nowadays. That is a lesson that I feel like I have to really like learn. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's worth getting, okay? So yeah, and this next one is a prime example of that. It's this Columbia shawl collar fleece, very thin sweatshirt. I don't know about y'all, but Columbia is just, she's falling off. In my personal opinion, I like picking up Columbia for myself. I don't see anything wrong with the brand at all, so I still don't understand why it doesn't like perform well. But it really, I guess, depends on the piece, let's be honest. But I've sold quite a bit of sweaters over this winter time of Columbia, but they've all been under like 16 bucks. So it's not like I'm getting a decent amount. And this could very much so just be a bread and butter brand for me. However, I just don't think that me selling things for $10 is in my best interest, because after fees and cost of goods, like, let's be real, how much am I really making? And y'all gonna see how much I'm actually really making. It's literally not even worth my time. I could have just left this right in the bin like I plan to do next time. So this one sold for $10. I do believe this one sold through that offer to Likers, 30% off, $5.95 shipping. So after all of that, I paid $1.43 for this item at the bins, and I profited a whopping $3.60. Yeah, waste of time, okay? Waste of time. It's crazy because it's like, I feel like, oh, you know, I'm coming across these items, I'm saving them from the landfill, $3.60 is not worth my time. Let's be honest. $10, $7, $8, that is pretty much not worth my time. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. But I definitely will not be picking up Columbia anymore. I just don't think that it is that great for me. Unless it's like a really sought after or like a staple piece. All right, so the next one is actually already pre-packaged. I'll pop it on the screen, but it's just a pair of North Face women's pants. I think I told y'all before that North Face women's just doesn't do that well for me, but the men's do pretty good. This one also sold on that 30% off, and it sold for $21. I did have it marked up pretty high, like $32, $35, just because, you know, it's hiking season and North Face is one of those brands that is for hikers. So I thought, you know, I'd test my luck and try to get as much as I can for it. But this was definitely a Ben's pickup. I paid $1.21 for it, and I profited $13.57 after fees and cost of goods. So it's not terrible, but you know, it could have been better. So the next one is from a brand called Love Token. I actually sold this before. Well, not this exact thing, but I've sold this brand before. It does well. This one still has, I forget what this thing is called, but it still has that tag. So it lets me know that this thing is still brand spanking new. It feels so buttery soft, like if Barefoot Dreams had a baby with something much softer, this would be it. So I had to pick it up. And I kind of have this hanging up, so I don't really even think I need to sit here and lint roll it. But yeah, I'll have to pop it up on the screen so you guys can see. But this one sold for $29. It was also through that 30% off offer. And I paid $1.29 for it. And I profited $19.89. Let me package this off camera because it's gonna take some time. All right, we only got 2 more sales, y'all, so stick around. Whew. Oh, and ironically, both of them are purses from my personal closet. So the first one is this 𝕃𝔬𝔼𝕂. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Little shopper's bag. Now, y'all, I need y'all to understand that I picked this up 2 summers ago, and I had every intention of selling it. However, back then I didn't know anything about comps. I didn't know anything about, like, you know, checking on the item. I just would look up the brand and see that it's selling for a lot. So I do believe this thing originally is like $230 or $250, and I priced mine at like $200 back then because it was in a really good condition. So I was just kind of like, oh, this, you know, let me get it close to retail. And that was the flop. So I ended up keeping it, and I used it a few times that summer, and I was just kind of like, this isn't really my vibe. You already know I'm not that girly. The most I'll do is put some makeup on. So I thought I'd go ahead and let it go. And I actually just like listed this, I want to say within like the past week, and it got a bit of attention on Posh and on Mercari, but it actually sold on Mercari. And it sold for $78. I received that offer, and I immediately accepted it because I'm like, ooh, perfect. I got this out the way so quickly. This is actually the perfect spring bag, let's be honest. But it was missing like the dust bag inside, so that's why I had it marked at $95, and I was looking to get anything over $50 for it. So when I got that $78 offer, I was like, look at Jesus, okay? So I accepted it. But yeah, so I profited $67.44 because during this time I was writing everything in my book, in my inventory book, and I don't have those numbers. So I don't know how much I paid for it. But I need to figure out what I'm gonna put that in because this is on Mercari. So we'll figure that one out. The next one is a Marc Jacobs purse. I actually bought this the same summer that I thrifted the Zac Poison one. I'll link that video down below because I bought this as a birthday gift to myself. And I mean, I ran this little shit to the ground, okay? This is my everyday bag. And if you guys aren't like familiar, canvas is a different type of material. You have to be really, really particular with canvas because it will get dirty. And this got filthy. And I ended up washing it like 2 or 3 times and it just would not come clean. So I just gave up, to be honest, and I listed it. And at the time when I listed it, which was like, I don't know, a week ago, a little under a week ago, I didn't know that it was still popular because I believe the girls you know, made this popular on TikTok recently, and I actually bought this like 2 years ago. So when they made it popular again, you know, it sold out. Marc Jacobs, you know, was making hella money or whatever. So it's a lot of people that are scamming it. So if you look on pretty much any platform, you can see that it's people that selling somewhat the same item. They have the same photos. Like, clearly it's a scam. Let's keep it a buck. And I was a bit hesitant on that. So that's why I made sure I used my photos and only my photos. I didn't even pull a stock photo because I'm like, no thanks. And I still have my receipt from when I ordered it online. So if anybody needed like authenticity, I would have did that for them. But somebody asked me a question, I listed it, and within like minutes, I received a $40 offer. Now at the time, I had it listed at $80 because I'm like, $80 is a pretty good price point. But once he sent that, you know, half off offer, I felt disrespected. So I bumped it up to 110, and it had over 20 some likes within a few days. So I was just like, wow, this is like, you know, popular. And then somebody sent me another offer for $40. Somebody ended up liking it and they put it in their cart, and I noticed that they were like a scammer. So I blocked them because I didn't want them to buy from me. So I said all that to say, if you find Marc Jacobs, pick it up. It's gonna sell. This is from my personal closet, so I'm profiting 100%. Okay, y'all, so I am done. I completely forgot to do an outro, so this is my outro, okay? And I did find a box. I didn't know that I actually used a priority shipping label for that Zac Poison purse, which is perfect because I put it in this box. This is actually my favorite box from USPS. Perfect for like jeans and like lightweight sweaters. Anyways, so I put it in here, and yeah, this is all that I have. If you guys watched this video all the way through, please leave this emoji down below. And you know, I love when y'all do it because I be like, oh, this is a little surprise, why are you leaving this? And then I remember like, girl, you said put that in the video. But yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in and watching the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. ♪